This messenger is private, this one is alright, this one is trash, and this one is the most private and secure of them all. How do I know this? Because I thread modeled every messaging app I could think of and created an exact ranking system to score and rate their privacy protections. To answer a question which messenger is the most private, we need to have a consistent methodology. For that, I'll use an actual privacy thread model called LINDDUN, which is a comprehensive list of all privacy threats: linkability, identifiability, non-repudiation, detectability, data disclosure, unawareness, and non-compliance. This is an excellent benchmark to measure messaging apps against, so I'll do it for all of them thread by thread. By the end, this should give us a ranking table and help us see which messenger is the most or least private based on its privacy score. To simplify this, each thread will be subdivided into 3 vectors: account, usage, and service. Account is about login credentials and authentication. Usage is about all the metadata and usage data collected or exposed by the app. And service is about how much data the service provider keeps and how it uses it to track you or target you with ads. For each thread, a messenger can get a maximum of +3 points if it mitigates each vector, and -3 points if it introduces ways of exposing each vector. The first and the biggest threat on the LINDDUN model is linkability. Linkability is when an app uses your data to track your behavior. Too much tracking and linking of your data make it identifiable, which is another privacy threat. Much of this tracking is used for advertising or given to spy agencies. To figure out if a messenger is private, you need to know if you can create an anonymous account and if the company behind it uses your data to track you. For example, on everything from WhatsApp through Facebook to iMessage, your account is used to track your behavior on the app as well as across the internet to target you with ads. We know this from their privacy policies and business models built on advertising. So these messengers get negative points on linkability. Private apps like Signal, Threema, or Simplex Chat do not run ads and are actively designed to purge your data rather than track it. Their business model is either donations or they have paid plans. But the most extreme privacy apps like Briar and Kush are making zero compromises. Not only do they allow completely anonymous accounts and have no tracking business, they are routing your traffic through the anonymous Tor network and are designed to be fully resistant to all forms of metadata surveillance. These different designs will result in quite different scores. Signal gets a single point because they're not using your phone number for tracking, and you are allowed to use an anonymous phone number, but spies and hackers could use Signal phone number to track you down, and they can get it directly from Signal or internet providers, so Signal won't get any additional points. Threema is a mixed bag because it is only truly anonymous if you use it on Android, paid for it in cash, and didn't use your phone number to sign up. So I'll give Threema only 1 point as well. Unlike these two though, Simplex and Session are both sufficiently decentralized. They are therefore more resilient to metadata surveillance even if spies and hackers broke into their companies, so they'll each get 2 points. However, Briar and Kush take it a step further by implementing Tor into their app, and this renders most active forms of surveillance unfeasible, so Briar and Kush get all 3 points on linkability. As I said before, too much linkability exposes you to identifiability threats. To be truly private on the internet, you should have the ability to conceal your identity from others. It helps to protect you from scammers and targeted attacks, as well as harassment and stalkers and other creeps known as marketers. And you know my opinion on marketers.
By the way, if anyone here is in advertising or marketing, kill yourself.
So to know if a messenger is private, you need to know if it's using your account to identify you. Your account is identifiable if any of the following is collected and used by the app: your name, phone number, email address, home address, IP address, payment info, an advertiser ID, any unique user ID, and any personal data used for linkability. The biggest offenders on identifiability threats are iMessage, Facebook, WhatsApp, Discord, and Viber. They want to know who you are and will ask for more and more info to make sure they got you with certainty. You may even have to provide a government ID or a facial scan to use them. So not only are these apps not protecting your identity, they're actively attacking it. So they all get minus points on identifiability. Private messengers should offer protections even if they require otherwise identifiable credentials. Signal allows nicknames and Wire only needs your email address, so they get a point. Session, Threema, and Simplex Chat get 2 points because their accounts are anonymous. But all 3 points go to Kush and Briar, which offer anonymous accounts that only exist on the dark web and on your device. Nothing is identifiable. plug. You'll notice there is no affiliate marketing or sponsor plug in this analysis. That'd be a major conflict of interest if I was paid to shill for a privacy company for 60 seconds. This is a pure, unadulterated analysis and advice with no special interest behind. I think you should honor this. Support me on patreon.com/thehatedone, unlock my podcast, get everything ad-free and early access, and get my merch. It's also my main channel now. In the flag. Today, using end-to-end encryption is being criminalized and vilified throughout the world. With age verification laws, chat control bills, and AI scanning your messages on device, the need to hide the fact that you use a secure messenger is now paramount. This threat is called non-repudiation. It's the opposite of plausible deniability. A serious private messenger must be able to hide its existence, or at least the fact that you're using it. The problem is that all big tech platforms will happily rat you out to the highest bidder and will respond to nearly every government request. In most cases, the government doesn't even need to know if you have an account somewhere. They can just go to Apple, Google, Meta, Microsoft, or other company with your name alone, and they'll just give them your account data. They log everything and share those logs with or without your consent, and for that, they'll get all the strikes they can get. Non-repudiation is a bitch. So much so that even Signal, the gold standard of secure messaging, doesn't pass it. Signal cryptographically ties your phone number to your account. If the government spies or hackers know your phone number, they can attack your account. Signal is designed to be this way so that it's easier to use and get people on board. But it also means it isn't as private as it could be, and for that, Signal gets a strike. Wire, Threema, Session, Simplex Chat, and of course, Breyer and Kuch all got rid of the phone number requirement. They make it so much easier to use them without associating your real-life ID. For this and their data minimization practices, they get 2 points. 1 extra point goes to Breyer and Kuch, each because their dark web designs leave no traceable metadata to collect. Whether you can or cannot plausibly deny using an encrypted messenger also means whether others can detect it without your consent. This is called detectability. With advanced AI surveillance, this threat is growing rapidly, and sadly, almost every messenger fails to protect you against this. All centralized and big tech apps hold a registry of accounts to make it easier for people to connect with and discover their friends. This isn't true just for Facebook or iMessage, it's also true for Signal. The big tech apps are the worst at this because they actively share your accounts with advertisers, who in turn can share your info with data brokers, who can then sell your info to spies and hackers around the world. It's not a surprise that other than using SMS texts, these are the worst offenders. Signal gets a double strike, one for their stubborn phone number requirement, and the other for Signal's intentional discoverability feature that allows hackers to find out if you have a Signal account simply by knowing your phone number. This leaves the trio of Simplex Chat, Threema, and Session, and you'd think I'd give them a point, but they'll get a strike instead. That's because by default, their traffic goes through the regular internet, so the fact that you're using them when, where, how often, how long, and with whom is exposed out there for internet providers, hackers, and spies. Footnote: there is one caveat for both Session and Simplex. They're both trying to obfuscate their metadata paths with their own decentralized networks. Session can even show you that your path is going through multiple nodes supposedly run independently of one another. If you're feeling generous, you could give them a plus point on detectability of service because it should be theoretically more difficult to track your social graph and message metadata. Neither of these networks are as mature and well audited as the Tor network. The fact that you use either of them is still detectable, and advanced adversaries could still perform correlation attacks quite easily on these young decentralized networks. End of footnote. Only Breyer and Kuch get the perfect score on this. When you use them, only the fact that you're connected to the Tor network is revealed, but nothing else. None of the privacy attributes matter if the app isn't secure. Privacy is not the same as security, but security is one of the prerequisites for privacy. In the LINDDUN threat model, this threat is called data disclosure. You want your messenger to protect your messages to the highest extent possible, even against the company developing the app. This prerequisite can only be met with always-on default end-to-end encryption across the board. This requirement isn't met by two most widely available messaging options, SMS and iMessage. By default, they are not encrypted end-to-end. Even iMessage encryption can be accessed by Apple. To enable E2EE on iMessage, you have to turn on advanced data protection in your iCloud settings and then convince all your friends on iMessage to do that too. That's way too many steps to get it done, and that gives iMessage a strike. Telegram is also a big offender here. It falsely claims their messenger is encrypted or secure, but it has no default end-to-end encryption for one-on-one chats, and that option doesn't even exist for group chats at all. Telegram gets a double strike. Discord is a weird example. It does encrypt voice and video calls, but it doesn't extend it to chats somehow. So Discord too doesn't meet the requirement to implement ETEE across the board. Discord gets a strike. RCS, WhatsApp, Facebook, Viber, Wire, and Matrix all offer it by default, so we'll give them a point. Signal, Session, Threema, Simplex, Chat, Briar, and Kuch all provide strong ETEE. They differ in some aspects, like implementing quantum-safe cryptography or perfect forward secrecy. For these differences, they'll get a different score, but they are all solid. The last two threats are unawareness and non-compliance. These are soft threats because they don't exist in technicals or complicated designs. They exist in the company records, marketing materials, their privacy policies, lawsuits, and records of malpractice. Companies like Apple and now the rest of the big tech will swear on their mother's graves that they do everything to protect your privacy. The worst offender is Apple, who literally ran this ad that whatever happens on the iPhone stays on your iPhone, which is categorically untrue, and Apple has been in class action lawsuits for false claims. Companies like Meta and Google have been regularly fined for breaking privacy laws of perhaps every country in the world. It's a complete shitshow out there. For the private contenders on this list, I'll give them all the same score for their active efforts to minimize how much info they retain and how much they're willing to put up a fight against authoritarian surveillance laws. Briar and Kuch score better because even if you kidnap their developers, they wouldn't be able to say anything because they don't have any data. The apps are completely decentralized. They are peer-to-peer. Literally nothing exists on the network. It's all Tor and on-device. Le score final. So that was the last threat. This should give us our final score. So which messenger is the most private, and how private is the one you're using? With the LINDDUN thread model, I built this scoring table where I rank each messaging app according to its privacy score. At the very bottom will always be SMS texts. I can't think of any other method of talking to another person that is less secure and private in literally every category. iMessage by default is only marginally better than SMS texts, and it can be somewhat improved, but its defaults are a privacy disaster across the board. I also put Slack in there just for the funsies. Slack is a workplace surveillance tool and nobody should treat it as private ever. Telegram is better than SMS texts. It even gets a point for identifiability because it technically is possible to use Telegram without revealing your true name. But everywhere else, Telegram is only slightly better than SMS texts, which is like saying,
I loved her like an ocean loves water. An ocean is water.
RCS is a new protocol to replace SMS texts, and really the only thing it's better at is its default end-to-end encryption. It still isn't recommended because it fails against every other LINDDUN thread and probably always will. For every one of those big tech social media inventions, they all get the same rank, more or less. Anything from Viber through WhatsApp and Facebook, while with some end-to-end encryption, they all track you to serve you ads, and that's just bad. Wire as a messenger is actually pretty good, but its function is mostly designed for enterprise use. For a general user, there are better options. That's similar with Matrix. Good for communities, not the best for private chats. And so these are the top 6 most secure private messengers in the world. These are the ones I would recommend. The 6th and 5th position are shared by Signal and Session. They're both great for most LINDDUN threats and trade blows in a few. Signal has advanced encryption features that are mature and developed, while Session doesn't require a phone number and is thus more resistant to identifiability and detectability threats. Unlike the others, Threema is paid only with no free option. Above Threema is a category of no compromises. That's Simplex. Encryption features are unparalleled. Accounts are anonymous unless made identifiable with user consent. You can hide from almost anything except for the fact that you're using it. Other than that, no private information is available for hackers, scammers, and spies to pick up on. Which leaves us with the only 2 messengers that are even better than this. That's Briar and Kuch. Briar and Kuch exist because somebody asked, hey, what if we build the most clandestine and unbreakable tool for human communication and literally the rest? And that's what they did. By default, not only are Briar and Kuch accounts anonymous, your use of them is hidden behind Tor. They have no central servers, so there is no data to hack or collect. Even if you shut down the whole internet, Briar can still work over Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. The only thing they don't have is users, but we can start fixing that, am I right? What if we can use Briar and Kuch with some of our most hardcore friends and keep Signal for the normies? That'd be gangsta as hell, and damn, it feels good to be a gangsta.